What's going on? We are back this week. We actually took last week off as you guys didn't watch us because we weren't here. So you can catch this show on Jon Connor's YouTube, connorsculture.com, and in gorilla.com. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. We are here with the most dangerous rapper in the game. We are here with Jon Connor. How are
What's
you,
up,
brother?
man? What's up, man? I'm feeling blessed, ready to talk some wrestling. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's been that week was definitely needed to catch up
Yes.
on some other stuff. Um Crazy. Tons of different things have happened in the world of wrestling since we recorded last. We are actually probably the last time we recorded was 2 weeks ago technically. So a lot of different things have gone on, especially a couple of not even releases, they're just expirations at this point. People are being let go and somebody that you definitely enjoyed. A lot of people enjoyed him. I grew up with him, even though he was just as young because John Cena's his hero. Our Truth is now gone out of the WWE. How do you feel?
Bro, I feel like this is crazy. I just like the rest of the wrestling community don't understand it. You just had him for one, he was just in a big storyline and a big match on Saturday night's main event with John Cena. So that means he's fresh in our brain. Also, anytime our truth is on camera, it's always an enjoyable segment. It's a lot of times that WWE tries for humor and they miss the mark. But I feel like with our truth, it was always on point. He was always funny, always entertaining. And I think he was a good balance. I think that the show needs that sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You need our truth to come in and make you genuinely give you one of those from the gut laughs. And yeah, I don't understand it. It wasn't like a situation where our truth was kind of like fading to black, you know what I'm saying, or fading out of the picture. It was like we still very much so all were invested and cared about our truth. And yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I don't understand why our truth was our truth's contract won't be renewed. I don't understand it.
It's very interesting time, I think, for TKO now specifically because and I saw people kind of have this idea is now that they are able to not have to pay these major ginormous contracts that the previous regime did and just boost these people up from NXT or the independents or take them over from TNA, as Jordan Grace actually took a pay cut when she signed from TNA over to NXT. And now she's obviously in the WWE framework. You have people like Stephanie Vaquer, you have people like Julia, uh, Roxanne Perez when she was on the Indies. There are a lot of different people. And I know I specifically said women. It's just because we don't really know what Ricky Saints or Ethan Page's contracts look like currently. But it is that thing where I think that they're like, we don't have to pay these max figure deals, but
Mm.
when you have a shirt like our truths, when you have a moment, literally him having the towel saying the last time is now hits so much different than
Right.
it would have if he was still here. And I genuinely wonder how long both of those men actually knew he wasn't coming back, and now that match is forever going to look a lot different than what it did. Because before our truth was gone, it was like, all right, well, this is just another win under Cena's horrible title run. Horrible, I play with, it's actually been very good. And now it's like, oh no, this man took away our truth, like he is ruining wrestling like he promised to do. So it sucks. It's like it's that weird thing of that weird moment where now we don't know. And I know people were kind of reaching when they were like, "Oh, the Miz, he took off all his stuff off his Twitter, and Gunther did the same thing." I'm wondering if that's another fact that they have in their contracts where because Gunther just signed, he just renewed and got a tour bus, but the Miz hasn't for a while. So I wonder what that does for certain superstars. You know, if you're big enough or if you've been here long enough, do you have to have the whole WWE in your bio kind of thing?
Right.
But time will tell. I mean, that's really what it is. Even though uh, last night's Monday Night Raw was probably one of my favorite in a while. And I know for you it might have been exciting because one of your favorites got a big win.
Yeah, Kyrie Sane finally got a W, man.
She got a big win in a very needed way, and I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna push, you know, Kyrie versus Io later on down the line, or are we gonna get that at SummerSlam? Because the girls look super excited, and you don't even technically for a match like that. That's just a showcase right there. You don't even need to have a heel or a baby face. You just need to let those two women work.
Yeah, I 110% agree. I think that I think that if that's the plan, which I hope it is, Kyrie can finally, you know what I'm saying, have a platform to put everything that she can do out there and she can showcase her skills. Because right now, EO Sky is hotter than she's ever been right now. So I think that that's really cool that EO will be giving the rub to Kyrie Sane, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know that they friends. And I honestly can't wait for Oscar to come back too. I miss Oscar. I really, really do. And but I think that it's gonna be really cool for Kyrie to finally get that that bit or that opportunity to get some spotlight. And when she hit that insane elbow last night, like I told you, man, it's the prettiest elbow in the business. And when she did, every time she do it, it's the same feeling every time, bro. It's like cherry cheesecake, dog. Every time I eat a piece of cherry or strawberry cheesecake, it never gets old, bro. Whenever I see Kyrie Sane drop the insane elbow, I get the same feeling every time. It's you know what? Only certain moves in wrestling ever made me feel like that. That every time the person did it, it made me feel some type of way. Kyrie Sane's elbow and Shane McMahon, when he would drop the elbow from the ring post to the table, it reminded me of Michael Jordan's Jumpman sign. It was
Oh,
picture
okay.
per- it was picture perfect every time. Every time Shane McMahon went from the post and dropped the elbow on the table, it was the same body motion every time. And it's the same thing with Kyrie Sane in that elbow. She has perfected it to where it's a work of art, and I love to see it every time she do it. It's worth the cost of admission just to see Kyrie Sane drop the insane elbow. So yes, my girl Kyrie, I love you, girl. I'm glad you got that dub.
Speaking of price of admission, I know the last time one of the last times we text, um I text you the day that the news had broken out. Are you gonna try and make it to WrestleMania Vegas this upcoming year? Because it's been taken away from New Orleans, and I kind of want to pick your brain because that was the last Mania you went to, correct? Was
It
in New
was, man. It was crazy. I'm actually kind of glad that they doubling back to Vegas because the last Mania I went to was in New Orleans, so I'd like to experience WrestleMania in a different city. But here's a question for you. What is the official reason why they took it from New Orleans and it's going to be back in Vegas?
So as of right now, the reason that's everybody's kind of been saying is for sure is TKO wants to see if Mania Vegas is a for sure moneymaker, or was that just a one-off 1 year kind of thing, because you know they haven't really been to Vegas in a long time, or I think ever. No, they had been to Vegas before, but just not in a long time. So as of right now, TKO is like, all right, well, we can double back. We can afford it to go and see if this is going to be a concurrent thing. If it is, we'll probably have Mania in Vegas at least maybe four to six times a decade. Like it will be a kind of a regular thing if they do really
Really?
good. Yeah.
Why though? Like why what makes Vegas so special to where they would want to do repeated WrestleManias there?
I have no idea. Like myself, me and my team, we were supposed to go. None of us were able to make it. We had plans fall through at the very end. From people that I saw who were there that entire week, it's just the fact that It's a very easy, very difficult airport. Let me clear that up. But it's a very easy flight for a lot of people because they
Right.
already have to go there. So the flights were super easy. It wasn't anything like it would be at JFK or if at DFW. And all I know is it was busy constantly. Like even though you were in Las Vegas, it felt more like just a giant WWE Disneyland is what I'm being told. So I
Wow.
I kind of did my own research. I kind of had a journalist be a little journalist for a little bit because I was asking people like, why was it even fun when y'all went? And tons of people who were on indie shows were like, yeah, this is great. And then they went to Mania and they were like, this is, it was expensive, but they couldn't see a reason why TKO wouldn't have made money. And I guess that's kind of what we're leaning towards now is okay, well, it's gonna be a spot, so it might be like Vegas, a different location, maybe a Europe, maybe a out of country location, and then definitely come back to Vegas. So it's gonna kind of be a little bit of something because a lot of people were thinking it was gonna be London that New Orleans
Really?
got moved. Yeah, tons of people thought it was gonna be London during the day. That whole day was stressful. Um, because it came out and it came out by accident, which is the crazy part is the news hit probably 10 o'clock my time that New Orleans was getting WrestleMania taken away. And so nobody believed it at first. And then the press release came out by accident from somebody who works at the New Orleans Athletic Commission. Um, or the city of New Orleans Sports Commission or whatever they're called. And it said literally in their TKO group will be back in Vegas for back to back years. And then people didn't believe that. And for some reason, everybody thought it was going to be London because of John Cena, lobbying for London
Right.
for almost a year now. And London came out and was like they don't want to have to pay the fines that American cities have paid in the past. They don't want to have to pay that because one, it's a lot of money if you do currency exchange, and two, it's just not something that they're normally used to compared to All In being at Wembley and AEW going over there. I guess AEW charges a lot less than what the WWE would.
Mm.
So as of right now, we're heading back to Vegas.
Well, let's go. We back in Vegas, and I definitely want to go this next year in Vegas. I'm glad they doubling back for selfish reasons. The fact that I did want to experience WrestleMania in Vegas, and that is crazy. That's history. WrestleMania is back to back in the same place. That hasn't happened since WrestleMania 4 and 5. Correct? I don't think that that's happened since.
It's never happened. The closest thing we would have had is our two pandemic years, but
Oh, that's right.
technically one was in the performance center and one was in Raymond James Stadium, so that doesn't technically count. Same city, two different locations though. But other than that, no, 4 and 5, that's about it. Is the back to back, and that's definitely something that is kind of been buzzing around my group is like, hey, the universe is telling us something. The first time we missed it, we're literally a state away. Now it's like
Right.
we have to go. We have to have fun. We have to go enjoy this. I want to see WrestleMania live. So I think that that's something that I've been wanting to talk to you about, and I'm glad that we can have the conversation now because I was like, I wonder if he's gonna try to go this upcoming
Hey
year.
man, if we both go to Vegas for Mania, we might have to shoot an episode in Vegas.
Oh, we're definitely. Oh, we could find guests. Like it's super.
Yes.
It'd be a fun episode of Culture Mania, man.
Yes. Hey, look, there it is. We put it in the atmosphere. We got to go to Mania next year and we got to do an episode from Vegas.
Ah, I bet I could find us. Given what times we're able to do it, I bet I could find us a ring to film into. So
That would be crazy.
I think we could do it. I definitely think we could do it, and it would be very fun. So yeah, that's definitely the plan. That's the plan for In Gorilla right now. Is we all want to go to to WrestleMania. We all want to have fun in Vegas, and we want to experience it because I've never gotten to see WrestleMania live and in
Oh
person.
man, you got me. It's nothing like it, bro. It's nothing like it, man.
It'll be amazing. But even though WrestleMania is still technically over a year away, we have two pay-per-views this upcoming weekend.
That's a fact.
Um, what are you most excited about? We have WWE and AAA Mania featuring a little bit of TNA. Worlds Collide, which it's not an NXT pay per view, it is a official WWE pay per view, which I thought was crazy to have it on the same day. And then later that night, Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I'm more excited. Like I'm looking forward to Money in the Bank, of course, but I'm more excited about Worlds Collide. Honestly, I love like lucha libre style wrestling. I think that is so cool for AAA to partner up with WWE, so now we could bring lucha libre style wrestling to the masses. That, you know what I'm saying, like the little kids that don't know nothing about it, like the kids who are, you know, just Americanized and all they know is WWE. And I think that that's going to open up a treasure chest for just so much, for them to be exposed to so much more talent, and so it just so many different styles of lucha libre style wrestling, and I can't wait for it. Just the trailer for the pay-per-view got me excited. Just the clips that they were showing, you know, were amazing. So honestly, I'm looking forward to Worlds Collide. And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be available on YouTube, correct?
That is what they're saying, is it's gonna be on YouTube, which threw me off because that's a whole pay-per-view on YouTube. I don't think they've ever done that. So it makes me wonder what else they're gonna start playing with WWE's YouTube. Yeah, officially, uh, the event will stream live for free on WWE's official YouTube channel with commentary both in English and in Spanish. So, yeah, that's weird. That's exciting. That's the nerd in me that's like, oh, if we're getting certain pay-per-views as free content on YouTube now, I wonder if AAA is going to start showing their episodes on the YouTube, which would help a lot.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And I think that is beautiful. It's just going to grow AAA's audience. And I think and it's just such a beautiful time to be a wrestling fan. I truly believe that it is it's one of the best times. I feel like the Attitude Era was unmatched, but for this generation, I feel like right now is a perfect time to be a wrestling fan. Just from all of the business deals that's being made behind the scenes between like TNA and AAA and WWE, and then you got AEW still doing their thing, and then also like just the influx of new talent like coming up from NXT, and just you can see that people are hungry and want it. I just think, man, and then just creatively, I think WWE is doing a lot of things right. I just think it's a beautiful time to be a wrestling fan. I can't wait to see Worlds Collide, honestly.
And the craziest part about this is just seeing the card is something that I never thought in my entire life that outside of WWE 2K, that I ever thought I would get to see, as we're seeing the LWO versus three AAA stars, Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. And then you have Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, and Pagion. And then you have like Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice, who have been killing it in their respective divisions now that Stephanie has moved up to the main roster, versus Dallas and Chic Tormenta. I think I misspelled or mispronounced Dallas. Ethan Page versus Javon Evans versus Ray Phoenix versus Laredo Kid is a match I never thought I would ever hear in WWE. And then finally, Chad Gable versus Vikingo, which is insane. I think Vikingo will now have broken a record being in an AEW ring, a New Japan ring, a TNA ring, a Mexico ring, and a WWE ring, all within the same year, less than half a year now.
Wow. Wow. And man, that is such a beautiful thing, because for a wrestling fan like me, who it's like I love getting exposed to new talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? I haven't always been able to keep up with like AAA or New Japan. So it's like this is really cool for a fan like me because WWE is bringing these stars and this talent to a fan like me to my attention. You know what I'm saying? These names that have been able to become huge stars and now they're able to become huge stars over here. And what's cool is I'm thinking like it's only a matter of time that now these cats from AAA that are getting their opportunity before they are in marquee matches at WrestleManias. Because all it takes is one time for like a fan like myself to see somebody that's really, really dope or does really cool stuff or has super charisma. Where we'll start wanting them on Raw and SmackDown and on the main roster on WWE shows, and then you start integrating those AAA talents not just on AAA events, but now they start intertwining on Raw and SmackDown. And just kind of like how you got sometimes main roster talent will go back to NXT and put over like NXT talent. I remember when the female Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria, is that her name?
Yes, Lyra.
Right, you remember when Becky Lynch went back to NXT and they kind of had like a feud. I remember like it was a time the Street Profits went back to NXT and like had a feud. I remember
Mhm.
when Io Sky went back to NXT and had a feud. So it's like now I'm thinking that that's going to be really cool for like a AAA talent to come over to Raw and SmackDown and start feuds, and then Raw and SmackDown talent to go over to AAA and have feuds, and then that leads into a SummerSlam or a marquee WrestleMania match. I just think that this is so cool because Lucha Libre style wrestling deserves to be put on a major platform and a major scale. And I'm just so happy that now that style of wrestling gets to get the spotlight that it deserves.
I love how you put that instead of because there have been a lot of people online who have been like, hey, I don't know these people. These people have never aren't part of WWE. I don't really want to see them. And my biggest response to that is it's not made for you. It's made for the people that want to see it. So I do enjoy that, and I do respect that you are very excited to have, these guys come over. And I mean, we've already had possibly the biggest crossover event of this current new I'll call it the multiverse era. We had the Attitude Era. This is the multiverse era. You never know what's going to happen. Um, but one of the coolest things that has happened in the last couple of weeks is we have Trick Williams defeating Joe Hendry to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The biggest belt in TNA is now held by a NXT superstar, which is something that I mean nobody ever could have ever imagined. And we are maybe next year in Vegas, instead of Joe Hendry having the squash match against Randy, the card may feature the TNA World Title up for grabs at WrestleMania.
Exactly. Exactly. Can you hear me? Because my phone rang, so I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So bruh, those are the type of I like how you dubbed it the multiverse era. That yes, I am super excited about it, and I am excited about scenarios exactly like what you just said. Seeing the TNA World Championship defended at WrestleMania, that only adds to how grand the event WrestleMania is. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where all major titles should be defended at, is at the Super Bowl of wrestling. And which is cool because now it's not just the Super Bowl of WWE, it's the Super Bowl of all of wrestling. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be really, really cool. And like you said, just to see like the AAA world title defended at WrestleMania, I love the idea of that. And for people, it's always going to be critics, people, oh, I don't know these wrestlers or whatever. You'll get to know them. I'm that way a lot of times with like not TNA, but NXT performers because I'm a main roster guy. I feel like if I'm supposed to know who you are, you'll make it to the main roster. Maybe I suck for that. I'm sorry, but a lot of times that's how I feel. I am gonna start watching NXT. I promise. But I'm old school. It's like if I'm supposed to know who you are, you'll make it to the main roster. So I get it. But I feel like these guys at TNA and these guys at AAA, I feel like NXT has always been deemed a developmental system in order to prepare you to get to the main roster. I feel like TNA is a main roster system.
Hmm.
Like that means you like in AAA is the same way. That means if you've made it to TNA TV or AAA TV, you've been through the indies. You've been through your own form of developmental. So I don't really look at TNA and AAA like I look at NXT, because I feel like NXT has been deemed this is a developmental pipeline to see if you're good enough to make it to Raw and SmackDown. That's what WWE has basically pretty much made it as. And I feel like with AAA and TNA and those type of promotions, your developmental was the indies. It was the time that you spent maybe in WWE before, and you were good enough to make it to AAA and good enough to make it to TNA. So I don't look at those promotions the same as I look at NXT, and I could be wrong for that.
No, not at all. I mean, back in the day when it was black and gold and it was an indie style, NXT was the developmental, but now NXT's the little brother third brand. It's you can't think of WWE without thinking of NXT in the
Right.
whole mix of it. And I mean, they do have their new developmental, which is the show LFG, and then WWE Evolve and WWE ID. So NXT is slowly growing to be its own brand. And the best part is, you have Triple H, one of Triple H's biggest rivals and bestest friends, Shawn Michaels, taking it over. And it seems like he knows exactly how to incorporate some of these TNA talent and some of these AAA talent that are just making their waves right now and making their strides. And it is a different way, because when you talk about Mexican wrestling, when you talk about Lucha Libre, and you talk about the two biggest companies, CMLL and AAA, it's a switch. I realistically, it's different compared to the United States, because
Mhm.
everybody would say the biggest dog in the yard in the United States is WWE. Second is AEW. It's reversed. AAA is the promotion that needs probably the most help, and CMLL, who is partnered with AEW, is the big dog. They are the longest promotion. They are the one that keeps the most tradition in Mexican wrestling. They are the ones that don't really stray away from what they do. They're basically the WWE of Mexico. And
Mhm.
so to see WWE partner with AAA, which was the alternative, for me, I sit there and I laugh when people think that, a WWE is copying what AEW is doing. I'm like, this is the whole different way. This is kind of like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. It's so unique and funny how this works out. And so to see it now turn into this, I'm just waiting for us to see some Pro Wrestling Noah guys from Japan. I did see something a little unique about what WWE is doing with certain talent. They are paying for their lessons to learn a little bit of Japanese.
Really,
Main roster guys too, not NXT guys.
really.
So I wonder where we're heading in the future.
You got any names on who they got learning another language?
As of right now, this was a little bit tough, but after the article came out, I was able to get some confirmation. It is one Solo Sokoa
Really?
is being informed that he might want to learn how to use Japanese. And that's the articles that I have seen online. So if people in the comments come in and say that was never true, Fightful reported it, a lot of people reported it. It seems like it's going to be something. So I wonder where we're heading to Japan, because I don't think it's NJPW, but there's still a lot of different companies.
Wow, that is insane. That is insane. Okay. That's definitely an Easter egg for things to come. It
So
and question, and I want to make sure we talk about man, it was something that happened on Raw. I wanted to make sure we talked about. I wanted to get your opinion on how are you feeling so far with Braun Breaker being in the faction with Seth Rollins and Big Bronson Reed? What are your feelings on that?
I my girlfriend hates him. I think it's great. She likes that he like his out of gimmick personality.
Yes.
She's gotten to see Braun, and she's like, oh, he's a great person, you get along so well. But just seeing he's doing what he's supposed to, because she just cannot stand him, and I love it. I think that it's great. I think that it's perfect where he is, because he, like when we first started this show, and I was talking, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel that he doesn't talk as much. It's just he's just having fun at this point, and he's not even the enforcer of the group, which is the wildest thing to say, because you have Big Bronson Reed. You just have a dude out there that's just having fun being the bad guy, and I like this faction. I love it because it's so much of the, we don't want to hurt people. We want the gold. We're going to get the gold. And once we get the gold, they're going to pull a Roman and do part-time, which I would love if they, pulled the trigger and we only saw them every other month or something. But that's just the thing that I love the most, where it's like Seth is trying to tell you, I don't want to hurt you. I have no problem with you. If you get in my way, I will send him or him to hurt you, and that hurts me. That's the biggest gaslighting I've seen. I'm so happy with it.
I feel you. So, but here's my thing, and here's just me throwing it out there. I'm just being devil's advocate. I felt like Braun Breaker as a solo star was building a certain amount of momentum, and I felt like he was gaining traction on his own. And I feel like at times, did he really need to be in this faction? Is it dimming his light being in this faction? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we're not getting a chance to see his personality anymore. It's kind of him playing second fiddle now to Seth. You feel me? And so it's kind of like, did my thought sometimes is like, did Braun Breaker really need to be in this faction? Because it seemed like he was on a certain trajectory of momentum that has kind of plateaued now. Or am I speaking too soon as far as plateauing, because we still only like 3 weeks into this faction?
You're a little bit of both, where you're right, where you're like, he was gaining his own momentum. He was getting over with the fans, even though he was a heel. And we are still a little too early. I think that if it comes down to it, if him and Bronson Reed are holding the tag team titles, this was the biggest mistake you could have ever done, because
Mm.
each of those men are all single stars. Now, if Seth Rollins is holding the World Heavyweight Championship, Braun Breaker is holding the Intercontinental Championship again, or switch it and he steals the United States and brings it and forces it over to Raw, because there's no faction really right now that could handle all three of them. And Bronson Reed is holding a singles title. That's a such a weird look for a faction, and I love it. All having individual singles titles, no tag teams. And it proves we don't have to be together. We're just dangerous when we are.
That is dope. I love your perspective. I hope they don't break your heart, man, because I saw them as a tag team on Raw, and they were wearing matching outfits, which means to me they are probably going to keep make them a tag team. They had on matching outfits, bro. That's a bad sign. It's a bad omen. That is looking like it's gonna be Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker as tag team champions, bro.
Which I know how wrestling's supposed to go. Yeah, you usually have the big guy, and then you have the tag team belts and blah 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 blah. But I don't want that. I want them to hold singles titles,
uh
and and you know, it would even be better, and I know this is so far fantasy booking, but having Seth win the WWE title instead of the world heavyweight, having Bronson or Braun win the world heavyweight, and then having the last one win a mid card title, technically the Intercontinental or the United States, or because we're just having fun here in WWE apparently, and just playing whatever we want, have one of them go take the TNA World title and just be like, all three biggest belts are
Now
all of
that would be
ours.
that would be crazy.
I would cry. I would cry so hard.
That would be crazy. I hope they don't disappoint you, man. But I feel like WWE has a way of doing that. When you book something perfectly in your head, and then the shit that they do on TV is totally like the opposite of whatever you book. I'm gonna tell you what I booked in my head, and they disappointed me with is the Wyatt Six, bro.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Can I please pitch to you the way I would have booked the Wyatt Six, bro?
Please do.
All right, here it is, man. Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six should have been an updated version of Raven's Flock.
Okay.
Do you remember Raven's Flock?
I do remember Raven's Flock.
For the younger fans out there, Raven's Flock was a faction led by Raven, Scott Levy, who also I think was Johnny Flamingo in WCW and Johnny Polo in WWF. But his character was like a grungy punk rock, just depressed, philosophical, woe is me, I hate the world type character. And he dressed kind of like really grungy leather jacket and all of that. And his crew, they kind of dressed like punk rock grungy too. So when I say that, thank you for helping me with that, bro. You the best, man. So that's the Flock. If y'all looking at the screen right now, yeah, pull up a picture of the Flock like when they used to sit in the audience at WCW Nitro.
Let me right here. I believe I have. Oh, this is actually. This would. Oh, it's gonna be small, but either way,
you got it.
Yeah, I got it. Give me 1 second. It's gonna be small though, but this is some right here. Small though.
Dang, I can't see it. Dang, we need a bigger one because this is gonna be good for the people to see this picture as I pitch this to y'all.
Let me see. Yeah, because I would definitely love to see more of stuff like this. This is actually a good way to promote the idea of what this should have been. Here it is. Let me get
Got it for me.
Let me see. If it'll let me do this, you're gonna love this. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh snap, let's go.
Like this?
There we go. There we go. Okay. So now, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me see. Let me make sure. Let me look. Let me look. Oh yeah, that's fucking amazing. Okay, yeah. So Ravens Flock and the Wyatt Six. Okay. Now, first of all, for anybody that's watching this right now, don't talk to me about gimmick infringement. Don't talk to me about people taking people's gimmick. Let me tell you something, man. Kevin Owens literally did the Stone Cold Stunner. Charlotte Flair is Ric Flair's gimmick, and Ric Flair was the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. So gimmicks are passed down over time. To me, Chad Gable is the updated version of Kurt Angle. There's so many people who are updated versions of past gimmicks, and that's nothing new in professional wrestling. When Carlito first came out, he was like an updated version of Razor Ramon. So, all right, so let's get that out of the way first and foremost. So now, what I mean when I say the Wyatt Six should have been an updated version of Raven's Flock, I feel like Bo Dallas should have been a Raven type character. Okay. We all know in real life the things that Bo Dallas has lost. God bless the dead. He lost his brother, Bray Wyatt, right? So we know that. We already empathize with him because of that. We know that he's been released from WWE a couple times. So in theory, his character has every right to feel like, can we cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, we could cuss on this one.
Okay, cool. So he has every right to be like, fuck the world, fuck this company, fuck a title. I don't care about none of that. I want revenge against everybody. I want revenge against this business because y'all didn't appreciate my brother when he was here. Y'all didn't appreciate his ideas. You didn't appreciate his wrestling until he was gone. So fuck this company because you let me go. You fired me. Bray had the petition to get me back in the company. I don't like the company. I don't like the fans. I'm this Raven depressed fuck the world type character, and we would believe it because we in real life know what Bo Dallas has been through. So if he came to WWE dressed like he just didn't care, like Raven, just wearing his street clothes and looking kind of grungy and dirty, you would believe it. And then having the Wyatt Six be all people that have some connection to Bray Wyatt and feeling almost the same way, and they've subscribed to this train of thought that Bo Dallas has, that why do you care about this company that doesn't care about you? Bray loved you like I loved you. This company doesn't love you. The fans don't love you. And have them now, them dressing grungy is their way of being anti-establishment, saying we don't care about the company. We're not going to wear wrestling gear. We're not going to do any of that because we don't give a fuck. And we would believe it. We would believe that. Like if Bo Dallas showed up on TV in street clothes and just cut a promo about how he didn't care and then randomly popped up at different points in shows, you didn't know whether he was going to be on Raw or on SmackDown, and he just popped up, you'd believe it and he would get over. It would be something that the fans could sink their teeth into. And my thing is, I feel like the Wyatt Six thing is not working right now because we associate the what do you call it? The supernatural aspect of the Wyatt Six, you associate that with Bray Wyatt. We
Yes.
don't want to see Bray Wyatt. We don't want to see Bo Dallas do a Bray Wyatt impersonation. We want Bo Dallas to be Bo Dallas. You feel me?
Mhm.
Whenever I see Bo Dallas in that Uncle Howdy mask, it just makes me miss Bray Wyatt. That's not what you want to do. You want Bo to be able to establish himself while still paying honor and tribute and paying homage to his brother by continuing like a character or calling it the Wyatt Six. Like that's paying homage enough. But I feel like when you cut the lights out and the fireflies come out, you're forcing Bray Wyatt to follow an act that it's impossible to follow. Bray Wyatt was a one of a kind. Bo Dallas cannot do Bray Wyatt better than Bray Wyatt. So don't try to force him to do it. Don't try to make Bo Dallas be Bray Wyatt because he can't. And what pisses me off about that is that when he and I'm not wishing this on him. But if the Wyatt Six fails or continues to not get over, then they'll get released because of an idea that probably isn't theirs, because they're
Mhm.
trying to wear a gimmick that somebody else created that they can't fulfill the full vision of because the person who created it isn't here to coach them through it. So it's like instead of trying to get them to continue Bray's gimmick, give him something fresh that he can sink his teeth into, that everybody in that faction could sink their teeth into. What's the girl name that's in the Wyatt Six?
Oh, well, it's supposed to be Sister Abigail, but it's oh my god. It's Killian Dane's wife. It's oh, what's her name? What is her
Man.
name?
So for the sake of the conversation, we'll call her Sister Abigail.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Sister
Go
Abigail
ahead.
WWE. It's gonna be something. Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross, that's right, because she was the superhero for a while.
Yeah.
So okay. Bruh, if she came out there with the leather jacket on, but still having on like a dirty bride dress and stuff and all of that, bro, we would totally buy it. Like it's like all of they have the makings of a gimmick that could work. You have the real life undertone that you could tie into the storyline and it could actually work. And I feel like Bo Dallas could pull it off. I really do. If he pulled off the disgruntled brother that's in constant mourning and constant disdain for the fans in the WWE universe and the office, bro, I really feel like Bo Dallas could sink his teeth into that and really take this Wyatt Six thing to the next level. But I just feel like you trying to give him a gimmick that was already established and done so perfectly by somebody who's not here anymore to finish that story out, that I think you should reinvent what the Wyatt Six is and let Bo Dallas create something that's totally 100% his. He could even still call himself Uncle Howdy. I just don't feel like he should wear the mask and wear the top hat and come out with the lights going out. No, I think that he should come out through the crowd. I think that he should do things backstage that's like disruptive. I love how I feel like it would even be cool if him and if Karrion Cross became a part of that faction and they all became like these manipulative characters that don't really like WWE and tried to get people to go against the grain and go against the system. I just don't think the supernatural thing works because I feel like, God rest his soul, when Bray Wyatt passed away, I think all things that are supernatural we associate with Bray Wyatt, and I don't think that it stands a chance to actually have a life of its own now that he's gone.
No, I love the idea that you have. The one thing that I'm gonna say they can't take away is the Fireflies, because if you have these disgruntled guys, so you have Eric Redbeard who lost one of his best friends, one of his brothers, one of
Right.
the greatest people he's ever met. You have Bo Dallas who actually lost his brother. You have Nikki Cross who was only saved because of how much faith Bray Wyatt have. You have Joe Gacy who looks like Husky Harris, and you have Dexter Loomis who looks like he belonged in the Wyatt family when the Wyatt family was killing it. Now you have all these guys. I love the idea that you said, you have them come and pop up at random places between Raw and SmackDown, but broaden that. You have them pop up in random places anywhere.
Yes.
NWA is working with WWE, just a random night. And Billy Corgan, you just hear him cuss and say, "What the fuck?" The lights go out. Everybody knows to put out their cell phones. And you see the Wyatt Six in an
Yes.
NWA ring. You see them in a Triple Mania ring messing with Vikingo, who's the AAA Mega Champion, which is the literal title, the name for the title. TNA. Oh, TNA would eat this up. The
Yes.
TNA loyalists would just go crazy. And then you have the independent companies like Reality of Wrestling, Blackcraft Wrestling, and all of those places that would love to have these guys, because that would make those guys' entire profit for the year. If Wyatt Six are set to be up here, even if they don't, it would make those companies go viral. So
Bro,
I agree.
exactly, bro. We on the same page with this, bro. And I
Yeah.
feel like, yes, if you, because I get it, they want to pay homage to Bray. So make the Wyatt Six like a cult that's dedicated to like Bray Wyatt's beliefs. Like, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And they do things like quote old Bray Wyatt promos or like talk about his beliefs and what he believed in. Like, make the Wyatt Six like a cult, and then Bo Dallas would be like this cult leader, and all in the name of Bray Wyatt, bro. I think they would have something like you said. They would just show up anywhere. That would create so many viral moments if you just made it more authentic and organic and genuine.
Yeah, because if I'm traveling to Reality of Wrestling in Houston, and I have no idea what's going on. And then magically, at the show, you see the Wyatt Six go and they attack Zilla Fatu, and then they attack, Ice Williams, and they attack all these guys, or FSW, who, had put on a great campaign for WWID during the Las Vegas week. Like, having them go and attack some people that I know, it would be amazing, and it would help
Yes.
these people, and it would get them viral, because every week, every single weekend, people would be like, are we going to see them on Raw, on SmackDown, NXT, TNA, or are we going to see them on the independents? And for them, they don't have to have a regular wrestling week. They don't have to be at Raw and then be at live shows. They could be wherever. And that's kind of
Agreed.
fun, because sometimes you get extra days off or you're working a solid week. I think that'd be great.
I agree. We totally agree. Cause I think Bo Dallas is very underrated. He made me like the Bo Leave thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did. I thought he was hilarious when he was Bo Leave. So if he can make Bo Leave work, you think that that cat can't sink his teeth into I hate this because my brother passed. I hate this because y'all fired me and didn't see my talent. I don't care about you fans. Y'all rise up for our truth, but when I got fired, fired, nobody said anything about me. When all these other people get fired, you guys are in an uproar. But when I got fired, nobody said nothing. I was forced into a gimmick I didn't want to do. Nobody saw my potential. You think Bo Dallas wouldn't be able to sink his teeth into that as a performer? They say the best performances come from when you have a little bit of reality and it turned up times 10. You take everything that we know that Bo Dallas has been through and turn that shit up times 10. You don't think we would get an amazing character, a performance of a lifetime out of Bo Dallas? I think we do. And I don't, and it hurts to see like when certain things aren't getting over. It's like nobody in that writing room is having this thought or cares enough about the potential story that Bo Dallas could tell. Y'all just gonna let them get fired or let them fade into obscurity. I hope that does not happen because I truly feel like everybody in the Wyatt Six, and especially Bo Dallas, has untapped potential that if they give them something they can sink their teeth into, I feel like the Wyatt Six could be something really cool.
I could even see this as the first heel promos. They all come out with their masks. He has them take it off. He still I like the Uncle Howdy mask, but he doesn't have to wrestle in it. And he goes,
Right.
"You think that this is simple, that I'm not feeling emotion? I lost him after his last match at the Royal Rumble, and take a shot at LA Knight and do something like that." And I would love it because I think that wrestling needs something. I hate to say Bullet Club-esque because Bullet Club was so good for so long, but we need something like that. And now if the gates are starting to be open, why not take a faction that you don't need to put a championship on? You don't need to put
Yeah.
they don't need to win the Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble. They don't need to have any gimmick wins other than maybe a War Games style match, which, some companies do something different. Is just have them go and hurt your baby faces, like beat up your baby faces, make your baby faces more lovable by being
Bro,
attacked by four weirdos and a girl in a wedding dress. That's
you
perfect.
bro, you are hitting the nail on the head. Here's what the thing is, and I'm gonna keep it so real with you, bro. The Wyatt Six, if they did what we're talking about, I would care about the Wyatt Six more than I would care about Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. And why? Because that's something that I know has been corporately manufactured by WWE
Mm-hmm.
to further storylines. This thing that would potentially happen with the Wyatt Six would feel organic. It would feel real. And that's what always captures our attention in pro wrestling. When you have stuff that's like based in that thread of reality where you like, yo, was Bo serious when he said that? Was he like you could have
Mm-hmm.
him kind of say work shoot type things to where you'd have that blurred line, that gray area where you wouldn't be able to tell week to week this dude is unhinged. Where are they going to be? What are they going to do next? Have them, like you said, have them show up at AAA, have them show up at TNA, and only have it like where fans recorded it with their phone. Like, don't put it on WWE.com
Yes.
or like the YouTube. Like, have it feel like they're actually going places and disrupting things. Dog, the Wyatt Six has the potential to do amazing things, and I really hope they don't drop the ball on it, man.
I I think so. The craziest part, and I love that we picked the Wyatt Six to end this episode, is they are getting their own themed haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights this year. That's the leaks have come out. WWE is
Uh,
doing a haunted house. This is the only thing that makes sense because the Undertaker doesn't make sense. Um, and it seems like the Wyatt Six are going to get a haunted house. Now, having a Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights haunted house is such a big thing for like fans of theme parks or anything like that. So we know WWE sees the money in them, but then we don't see them.
right.
And that doesn't make sense. You could have these guys do like WWE World could have done a lot of cool. Las Vegas could have done a lot of cool things if they just allowed the Wyatt Six to be a little creepy. Magic
Yes.
shows could have been disrupted. I mean, just seeing different casinos, like how supposedly some of them are haunted, have these guys be there. There were so many. Have the Wyatt Six take over the Sphere for 1 minute, just one
Yes.
minute.
Yes.
Have them take over the Sphere. It would be beautiful, and we would all love it.
Facts. Super facts, man. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm glad you feel my pain with the Wyatt Six, man.
My my girlfriend, when she got into wrestling, Bray had already started getting to the point where we saw him less and less. And she never saw the Wyatt family stuff because
Right.
she fell in love with the person that he showed us when he was just there in his normal street clothes. She was like, I definitely feel the empathy of that. This man is not shooting a promo. He's not cutting a promo. This is all shoot. So she's always been a Bray Wyatt fan. And then when he passed, it hit her hard. When we saw these guys, and the first time we saw them, obviously it was cool. You know, they killed Chad Gable and, you know, beat up Gunther and did all that. We were like, man, this is going to be amazing. And then nothing. So it breaks. If any of us, she is the one that constantly has the most heartbreak because she's like, this has to do good now
Well,
that
man,
they started it.
and you know what I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you when now that you mentioned how they debuted. Here's the thing, man. Pro wrestling at the end of the day is still a live event show.
Yeah.
So after all of the theatrics, this shit has to translate to in ring.
Yeah.
So it's like when you kill Chad Gable and you leave the backstage area a bloody mess, right? Okay, cinematic wise, that might look cool, and you got the smoke and all of this and the masks, and you're doing the creepy stuff where the screen pop, but this still has to translate into a wrestling match. Like, you know what I'm saying? So so that's what I remember thinking, like when I'm watching, I'm like, I was telling a friend of mine when I was watching it, like I'm like, okay, but this still has to translate into a wrestling match though. Like you can do all of this stuff, but if the matches aren't good or this creepy stuff doesn't translate into a match, then this doesn't mean anything. So to me, it's like I think that that's the thing that they losing sight on is letting the gimmick make them forget that this still has to be grounded in some form of reality. You know, you can't have them be so supernatural that when I go buy a ticket, what am I expecting to see? Am I expecting to see what am I buying and when I buy a ticket to see the YS6? Are they gonna kill somebody in the middle of the ring? Is what
That
is that like, bro? I
that's an
came to see
Ice Nine
pro.
Kills concert. That's wild.
You feel me?
Oh yeah, I do. I do. I
So you
do.
gotta ground them, or it's kind of like stuff like the boogeyman. Okay, he eats worms. He does this dance. The lights flicker on and off, but the bell is gonna ring. And I bought a ticket to watch wrestling. So what
Mm,
is gonna happen when you? It's like Papa Shango is one of my favorite characters of all time. Like you know what I'm saying? I thought Papa Shango was terrifying when I was a kid. Much love to Charles Wright, who was the Godfather, Kama Mustafa. He's a dope in ring. Not that I'm any, you know what I'm saying? I'm anybody to judge anybody in ring, but I'm saying in ring he did his things. He's more than just a character, is what I'm getting at. But what I'm
yeah.
saying, like with Papa Shango, it was so much of the voodoo gimmicky stuff. How was that character supposed to translate into hold, counter hold, submission, headlock, 1, 2, 3? How does that translate into me having a sporting contest, which is ultimately what we're buying a ticket to see? So I think in 2025, you know, I think that they didn't think that all the way through. I think that the YS6 sells, it will sell as an amusement park ride. It'll sell as toys and merchandise. It kind of makes me think about the story I heard when the director Joel Schumacher was talking about how he directed. Joel Schumacher is the director of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, right? And he said that the studio told him that he needed to be that Batman and Robin needed to be toy centric, that when he was making the movie, he needed to focus on what the toys would look like. So he focused so much on what the toys would look like that the movie sucked. He forgot that he had to make a good movie at the end of making the movie toy centric. And I think with the YS6, they're becoming too marketing centric that they're forgetting that these people still have to get in a ring and wrestle.
And that's going to be the worst part is, if this is true and Halloween Horror Nights will feature the Wyatt Six, it's the fact that you will have the non-wrestling fans, which is always good. We always want to bring them to wrestling, thinking that this is the greatest thing in the world, that these guys are on TV every week. And then you have the wrestling fans who are doing it because it's WWE branded, i.e. I would. And we're like, we haven't seen these guys in months. Like I can't even remember the last time that I legitimately can't remember the last time that they had a match. I think it was against Alpha Academy or not Alpha Academy, whatever, American Made. And so it's that point where you're going to have these people ask, hey, when does this come out? And respectfully, some people may not know that, Mr. Bray Wyatt has passed. So they might be like, hey, when's that Bray Wyatt guy coming? Well,
Yep.
we got a harsh reality here. And so you're hitting the nails on the head, man. It's that weird thing now where, we're getting to the point where gimmicks are great, they're fun, but now you built something and you don't know how to use it. And wrestling fans are wondering, when are we going to see it again, if at all, ever?
Yep. This is facts, man. I'm gonna say a silent prayer for the YS6, man, that somebody in that writing room or somebody watches this and we spark some type of idea, man, because I really see the potential and I hope they do something with them, man.
If they saw this, I'd be like, Triple H, can we shoot an episode of CultureMainia at Raw? I want
it. Please, Trips, holla at us, man.
I would love that. But as we begin to wind down, any other final thoughts towards Worlds Collide? We didn't talk about Money in the Bank, but we kind of know the format. Any other final thoughts for this week?
Final thoughts for this week, since we going into okay, I'm looking forward to AAA Worlds Collide. I can't wait for Money in the Bank. My prediction, I feel like Seth Rollins is gonna win the men's Money in the Bank, even though I hope it's LA Knight. But I feel like it's gonna be Seth Rollins. For the women's, I pray that it's Naomi. I feel like Naomi has been doing the best work I've ever seen her do in her career. I'm so proud of her and happy for her that she's getting a chance to sink her teeth into this new character. This is the most interested I've ever been in Naomi. She's one of my reasons where I like, she's a must watch for me on SmackDown now. So I love heel Naomi. I hope she wins the Money in the Bank. Raw this week was good. I loved the CM Punk Sami Zayn segment was cool. I love Grande Americana. I love the fact that he won the Money in the Bank match. What else? Kyrie saying, "I love you, baby." Let me see. What else happened on Raw? They didn't even mention that Carlito isn't there no more. Love the Carlito wherever you are, man. Like, I wish that he would have gotten to have a legitimate run this time. For whatever reason, maybe it's backstage politics, but we can maybe talk about that on another episode. But I thought Raw was cool. Can't wait for Money in the Bank. I hope it's LA Knight, but I think it's gonna be Seth Rollins. Women's Money in the Bank, I hope it's Naomi. Looking forward to Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. I don't have a prediction on who's gonna win. I'm just looking forward to seeing them clash. But if I had to make a prediction, I think it's gonna be Cena and Logan Paul winning.
I will go with the women's Money in the Bank. I would love anybody in that match to win because all those women are very deserving. For the men's, if it's not Penta, I riot. Lyra versus Becky, I want Becky, so Lyra can finally be a heel. I want Logan and Cena to win because it'll continue to ruin wrestling the way that I want it to. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode. We are glad to be back. If you guys have noticed the format, it'll be 4 episodes, 1 week off, just because we are both very, very busy. But we love doing this. This has actually been a lot of fun. This has been a great episode. You can catch Mr. Jon Connor on all his socials at
Jon Connor Music, JonConnorMusic. You dig?
And if you are watching this on one of the many places you can, please remember to subscribe, whether that is Jon Connor on YouTube, ConnorCulture.com, or InGorilla.com. And we will see each and every one of you in the next video. Later, guys.
Boom.